Welcome to your Sunday morning edition of Pensare Basketball Live. Please hit like and subscribe on your way in and grab your coffee and let's get to it. That's a callback to our channel roots. Something else that's a callback to our channel roots is championing a rookie from Florida, because Jonathan Mogbo has been special. And I think how special is the question, because we can all see that every single time Jonathan Mogbo is on the court, he's making an impact on winning. He's defending, he's switchable, he's mapping the court like few rookies before him. He is active on the glass. His offensive rebound rate is out of this world. We've seen the film. We've seen clips of him guarding Tyrese Maxey. We've seen clips of him, guarding LeBron. We've seen clips of him guarding Anthony Edwards. But how good is it? Can we quantify it? Can we look at some numbers? And I think the numbers are going to blow your mind, because I compared him to four rookies in NBA history. They've all gone on to become max or borderline max players. And I just wanted to look at Jonathan's impact compared to those players as rookies. Now, granted, Jonathan is 24 games into his season. 24 games does not a season make. But I do think that it is a very impressive start to a season. And I think when you consider the context of the playmaking talent he's playing with, the finishing talent he's playing with, you could make a very, very solid argument. And I don't think you'd be stupid to say that if Jonathan Mogbo was playing for Miami, if Jonathan Mogbo was playing in OKC, if Jonathan Mogbo was playing in Boston, if Jonathan Mogbo was playing just about anywhere else, he'd be playing with a lot more talent. And players like this do better with more talent, not worse, because he's a connective passer. And there's a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to talk about Jonathan Mogbo. This is going to be a very, very positive view on Jonathan Mogbo. And amidst two losses, I think we could use some positivity. Something that hasn't been positive is also going to come towards the end of this live. Some of you are already aware of it, that Davion, Mitchell, and I got into a bit of a spat on X/Twitter. We're going to cover the entire, saga of that and just give you a kind of brief takeaway. And I'm not backing down. I don't care about 500 people, 200 people. I don't care. Come at me, bro. Okay, let's look at the numbers. Because the numbers are very impressive. This is Jonathan Mogbo's advanced box score. Well, just his general game log. Okay, this is just what he's been doing. All right. And I apologize if I'm a little bit laggy. When I have this screen up, I'll try to hold on. Let me see if I can make myself a little less laggy. Nope. I'm just gonna be laggy when I have this on. Okay. So this is where we're at with this. Okay. He's had some really impressive games. He's had some, less impressive games, I say. But if you're just looking at the 7 points, the 2 points, you're really missing it. Look at those offensive rebounds. There's a stretch where he had 4 offensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 3 offensive rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, and he's not doing it in a ton of minutes. And I think that that's the part that's, because you're not necessarily seeing those gaudy numbers, because he's not playing those major minutes, you're not necessarily going to be, getting the full context. Let me see if I can just take myself off the screen. That's much better. I don't lag when I'm off the screen. That's great. Okay. And you can't see. Okay, perfect. So if we're looking at this from the context of, where's the 25-point game, Rob? Where's that big Chris Bosh 25-point game? Where's that big 6-3 game? He didn't have those games. Okay. But he's had consistent performance throughout. And I think that that is very important to realize. And I'm just going to pull this banner off the screen because it is currently taken away from the bottom of the screen. But if you look at his advanced box score, this is where I think it gets really appetizing, specifically when you look at that far right column of box plus minus. He has put together 5 straight positive box plus minus games. Okay. He has had very low usage in most of these games. He has never clipped 25% usage except for once, which was OKC, where he had the 17 points career high. And you start to see that if you put the ball in his hands a little bit more, especially now that he's finishing a little bit more comfortably around the rim, he's actually going to do a lot of really positive things with it. Now, to those of you who didn't cheat and didn't look ahead, I want you to tell me who these 3 players are. This is player number 1. Okay, this is per 100 possessions, 16 points, 49%. Don't comment if you already looked at the description or if you saw the post on X. Just tell me who these 3 players are when I flash the stats. Okay, so this is the first player. This is the second player, And this is the third player. Okay. Now I'll give you a hint. These are 3 Raptors rookies. Rookie number 1 is Jonathan Mogbo. Okay. Any guesses? Again, if you didn't cheat, who is Raptor rookie number 2 and who is Raptor rookie number 3? I promise you they're really good players. Okay? Any guesses? That's 4K. That is not it. Rank scrub, you cheated. Okay. So, the cat is out of the bag. Maybe I should have been a little bit more secretive about it. Yes, it is true. So, if we evaluate this very fairly, okay, see, that would have been better. See, rank scrub, integrity lost. There's no way in hell you guess that Pascal OG. Anyways, now that the cat is out of the bag and it's not DeRozan and Bosh, these are the numbers. Jonathan Mogbo, Pascal Siakam rookie season, OG Anunoby rookie season. Per 100 possessions, Jonathan Mogbo is scoring more than them, which is amazing because he was considered a non-scorer coming out of college. Okay, he's shooting better from 3 technically than them. Okay, it's not as high volume as OG, fine, but it's also worth noting he's shooting notably better from the line. Okay, he's shooting like 9% better from the line than OG as well. OG notoriously struggled at the free throw line. He's a better rebounder than both. He's got more assists than both combined. Can we put that into context? He has more steals. He has fewer blocks because Pascal Siakam as a rookie was phenomenal shot blocker. He has a better box plus minus. It says plus 0.6 boxes minus. It is actually plus 0.7. So he actually clears this conversation as well. And his 0.7 defensive boxes minus is tied with Pascal Siakam. Again, a defense only type of rookie was what Pascal Siakam was. He is so much more advanced. He is having more win shares per 48 than both. And I think that the context here matters so much because Pascal and OG played on much better teams. Can we agree on that one? They played on much better teams. Much better teams. They had better spacing. They had better playmakers. They were play finishers, not play creators. Jonathan Mogbo has handled a lot of play creation responsibility. So I decided, okay, if Pascal and OG are not clearing it, what about Joakim Noah and Chris Bosh? 2 really good players, right? Chris Bosh was a multi-time All-Star, multi-time All-NBA. These are Jonathan Mogbo's numbers per 100 possessions and advance compared to Chris Bosh. He has a higher total rebound percentage. He has a considerably higher offensive rebound percentage. He has a considerably higher steal percentage. He has a lower usage rate, of course. Vince also played with better. He has a higher win shares per 48. He has a higher box plus minus. What about Joakim Noah? Higher box plus minus. The rebound rate now is finally you found a player who rebounds better than Jonathan Mogbo, and you had to go all the way to goddamn rookie Joakim Noah. Okay, but Mogbo is shooting better from the field, better true shooting percentage, better PER, better assist percentage, and by the way, Noah was a great playmaker, a really good playmaker. He's shooting better from the free throw line than Noah. He's obviously shooting better from 3 because Noah didn't take threes. He's shooting better from 2 than Joakim Noah. He's got more assists than Joakim Noah. He's got more steals than Joakim Noah per 100 possessions. Chris Bosh, the conversation clears. He's beating him in win shares. He's beating him in offensive box plus minus. He's beating him in defensive box plus minus. He's beating him across the board. So this is very impressive. The only thing you can point to with Jonathan Mogbo is, okay, the turnovers are a little bit high, 15.7% turnover percentage. But it's because he's trying things, man. He is handling more creation responsibilities as a passer than either of these guys did. And that is very important to realize. Okay. So you have got a steal on your hands. And I don't think you understand that in context to other rookies, Jonathan Mogbo so far in the league is 3rd in value of a replacement. He is very positive in terms of box plus minus. There are very few rookies that are positive box plus minus every single year. 3 of them this year have been Jared McCain, who is slumping hard. I'll tell you right now, Jared McCain, about, I want to say 9 games ago, was 4.6 box plus minus. He has gone completely the other direction in the last 2 weeks. And Mogbo is going the complete opposite way, where he's going up. Is there a chance? Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the Raptors tear this down and he starts getting 32 to 33 minutes, could you have another rookie of the year on your hands? Because his numbers are blowing me away. Okay, granted, it's not on really high volume, but do you realize he's shooting 55% from three over the last 8 games? 55% from three for a guy who basically did not make a single three in college basketball. I think that is very impressive. Okay. Now we got to talk about this. Okay, now I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to pull myself on, and we're just going to have a discussion. Hopefully, I stop lagging, and then I can provide some context on this. Okay, so I'm going to flash some stuff on the screen, and it is going to set the table for the next part of our discussion, which is not how good Jonathan Mogbo is, but rather how weird online stuff is with Davion Mitchell. So Davion Mitchell clapped back. He's not the first Raptor to do it. Fred VanVleet has done it. Chris Boucher has done it more publicly. But it always kind of stops at one comment. It doesn't just keep going and going. Honestly, I'm going to just give you free advice. If you're an NBA player out there, don't clap back at content creators. It doesn't make you look good. It doesn't make the other person look good. And honestly, it's just not worth your time. Who cares what I think about your game? Now, honestly, I think I'm right about your game. I think I've been right every step of the way. But that's just me. Okay. And obviously, there's some people in this community who have an issue with it. Y'all been pushing back. Stop talking about Davion. Would you agree that I have talked a lot less about him in our post-game lives and our film breakdowns than I have been before? I've hammered the point home. It's like beating a dead dog at this point, right? There's nothing to gain from this, okay? There's nothing. I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm not doing this for likes. If nothing, talking about Davion has lost me more followers than it has gained me by far. There's nothing popular about this, okay? Focus on life. It isn't serious. Thanks for the unsolicited life advice. I am focusing on life. This is my life. Okay. So be clear. Cover Davion for two key reasons. Number one, he's playing a lot of minutes on a team that I cover. Can't not talk about him. Sorry. You're going to go 1 point in 27 minutes. We got to talk about it. You're going to shoot 25% from three. We're going to have to talk about it. Now, if I start talking about taking your girl, and if I start talking about your personal habits, and I start saying you don't work hard, and I say you're a bum, now we've crossed the line. Now we've gone personal. I haven't gone personal, though. I never went personal with Davion Mitchell. He went personal. I didn't go personal. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then I want to realize that we've only ever kept it to the game. Secondly, it hasn't all been negative. I have showered him with praise as a leader. I have talked about Jacoby idolizing him and wanting to go to Baylor because of him. I've talked about his tone setting. I've talked about how good playing against a player like this in practice could be for Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly. I've talked about his impact on the Kings and how potentially he might have had something to do with how good De'Aaron Fox is now, because playing against a guy like that every single day does make you better. So I've said good things about him. I definitely have. I've said he's low usage, which is good considering we've dealt with a lot of high usage, point guards in Toronto recently who think they're all-stars, but they're not. So he kind of knows his role a little bit. But I've also said some negative things. What have I said? I've said the Raptors don't have a competent backup point guard. Do they? Tell me I'm lying. Okay. I've also, and by the way, in the process of saying they don't have a competent point guard, I'm also technically slandering one of my favorite players on the team, which is Jamal Shead. I'm just telling you, relative to league average backup point guards, these guys aren't that good yet. Okay. Yet. With Jamal Shead, there's always that caveat of yet, because he's a rookie and he's not supposed to be contributing, right? We don't judge Rob Dillingham for not being a star. We just say he's a rookie and he's going to grow into it. So I think that that's fair. I've also said that I don't think he's going to be in the league next year, and that if he is, he's probably going to be hanging on to a third string contract. I said this in large part because Louis Satzman and Samson Folk were talking about him getting $8 to $12 million, and I just wanted to put the brakes on that. I also started talking about him initially when I read Esfandiar Bahani's article in Forbes, where he started talking about Davion Mitchell turning a corner, having a new home in Toronto, potentially being a sixth man for the Raptors, being one of the best backup guards, being one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and all blah, 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 blah. Okay. So I do think that the coverage has been fair. If it has been annoying, it is partially because it is repetitive, it is obvious, and it's not insightful. And it's not really talking about a player. And my girlfriend asked me this question. She said, Rob, do you really want the Raptors to win this year? I'm like, I'm cool with it either way, but you're right. I'm not really all that married. She's like, is he helping them lose? I'm like, oh, hell yeah. There's no way you can have like a goddamn -6 box plus minus and not be helping your team lose. She's like, then why are you upset? He's accomplishing your goal, which the goal is Cooper Flag. So I understand that on one side. On the other side, I also understand the context that talking about a player who potentially could be a trade piece and talking about them negatively might not be the best idea. Maybe all I should do is talk about how good he is so that some team out there is so stupid that they're like, this is our solution. And then they give you, I don't know, a second round pick for him. But I'm not stupid enough to believe that other GMs are so dumb that they're not going to look at the basic stats that I'm pointing out. So let's just talk about the how this got here, because this is very weird to me. Okay. I'm going to lag a little bit. I hope y'all bear with this. Okay. This is how it started. I asked a simple question. And this is, by the way, if you ever want evidence that nothing good can come from saying something good about Davion Mitchell, this is your evidence. Because I asked, is 45 cooking? Now, to those of you who haven't been to a lot of barbecues that or a lot of cookouts, that's just a simple question of me paying him a compliment because he made a really nice finish. And I said, is he cooking? I wanted people to say, yes, he is, because that's the invitation. So Davion Muse, another Muse account, said, nah, you're weird. Don't post them. Slick Nick, a follower of our channel, laughs. And Davion Mitchell adds in facts, LOL. And then he proceeds to block us for no apparent reason. But the cool, I made a post about it, and I said, that's cool if you block us. You don't need negativity in your life. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay? That's perfectly fine if you want to block us. I don't give a shit either way. I'm going to still talk about it. I'll talk less about it because it's annoying for our community, but I can't just not cover a player who's playing 27 minutes. Now, I don't believe that posting someone's statistics is hate. I really don't. I'll refuse to believe that. I don't know what participation, trophy culture you grew up in, but telling a kid that you got a D is not hating on the kid. It's not hating on the kid. That's not hating on the kid, okay? And I just decided to post his year by year stats. That's all I did. I did not even offer an insight. There's nothing else to this. I didn't say these are his stats, therefore he's a bum. I didn't say these are his stats, therefore he's terrible. I didn't say these are his stats, therefore, hello, Guangdong Tigers. I didn't do any of that. I just said these are his stats. Bro, what are we doing here? Have I not done this for Scotty before? Have I not done this for Ochai before? When I talked about Ochai's improvement last year to this year, didn't I present his stats? I've done this for many players. Why are we acting like this is brand new? Like, my God, like, what are we doing here? Okay. So I post this, and then someone decides to assume that I'm a degenerate gambler who lost a parlay on Davion Mitchell. Come on, man. What are we doing here? I don't gamble. One. Number two, if I'm going to gamble, I'm certainly not going to be taking Davion overs. So let's just not be stupid here. It says, I'm starting to think Pensare lost a huge parlay on Davion Mitchell or had his lady stolen by him because this is just unnecessary hating at this point. Bro, these are numbers. How is this hating? Is this blasphemous? If I say Scotty Barnes is shooting 30.3% from three this year, is that hating? Do you see somebody post Scotty Barnes is shooting 30.3% from three, and I'm like, this is a hater? No, these are his numbers. These are his stats, and presented in context, in fair context, it's not hating. It continues on because Davion just can't let a good thing go. LOL. I had to take his lady from under his arm for him to hate like this, but I'm sorry, brother, if I did. Come on now. Now you had to go make it personal. Taking my lady? First of all, I have a real disdain for people who call me brother. I just hate it. Like, if you ever want to know someone to avoid in a public setting, brother, can you help me out? Run the other way. Nobody that you don't know calls you brother unless they want something stupid from you. I'll guarantee you that. Okay? Move on. And this is my response. Okay? Yes, because people think you're a third string point guard who doesn't deserve attention. And think that me talking about you even 4 or 5 posts, 5, 6 posts a game about even one mistake is hate. And I don't think that's hate. I'm sorry. I refuse 100% to believe that this is hate. Have I said some stuff about him that maybe paints him in an unfavorable light? Sure. Has the coverage of him been more negative than positive? Sure. But his play has dictated that. Okay. When he was playing well, I said, is he turning a corner? When he played really well, I gave him credit and I said he might have been the best player of the game. There was a game where he didn't even play that well, but because I was feeling so much heat from the community, I bent on my own morals and I said he was one of the best players off the bench when I didn't exactly believe that. And I'm never going to make that mistake again. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not making that same mistake again because I got here by being myself, 100% true to myself, honest. And if you push back and you say, Rob, it's too much, too much, too much, look, I appreciate the insight. I appreciate that. I have been extremely positive on the Raptors all off season. I have been extremely positive about the process. I am not sitting here tearing down rookies. I have been a hype train for 85 to 90% of this roster. Now, if I have said negative things about Chris Boucher and Davion Mitchell, it is largely because I do not appreciate their brand of basketball offensively, and I do not think that they are helping, and I do not think they're long-term members of this team. So that's what I have to say. Okay, we can't be sunshine and roses all the time because you want to feel good. I can't tell you that Davion Mitchell is better than he is because he's not. The day that he is, I'll change my mind. That's it. That's all I got to say. Okay. And I don't necessarily think that it is painting the best picture of what he's doing or where he's at right now if he's responding to this kind of stuff. This is stupid, really. I know a ton of people who covered him in Sacramento have nothing but nice things to say about him as a person, him as a leader. This is not me coming at him as a person, but if you're talking about taking my girl and all this stuff, like get off it, man. And definitely, you know, if Davion Mitchell does end up watching this, if someone floats this over, here's my message to you, man. Don't listen to these people online, man. I'm trying to tell you something honestly from the best intentions. If you don't fix your jump shot, if you continue to shoot 25 to 26% from three, you're not in the NBA next year. At which point you'll be in Europe thinking I had something to do with it. I have nothing to do with anything. The things that I'm talking about, every GM in the world sees it. Okay. If you want to go listen to Samson Folk and Espander Arbarhani and Louis Zatzman, and you want to believe that there's a $12 million contract waiting for you at the other end of this season, go right ahead, my friend. But there's not. But there's not. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the GM that signs you to anything over 5 million is getting fired before the ink dries. If you continue to play like this, that's not to say it's all bad. There's a lot of good. 100 good posts about Davion for maybe 200 bad. Does his play dictate a 2-to-1 negative to positive ratio? It 100% does. I'm gonna always keep it fair. I'm gonna always evaluate myself. I've had enough time to think about this. I don't believe I'm wrong. Okay, I just don't. Sorry, that's not where I'm at. Okay. And yeah, okay. So let's get back to the main topic. I realize, I hope I'm not lagging. I hope my audio is still good. I'm at 1 bar, apparently, according to StreamYard. I don't know why this keeps happening, but it does. Overall, the Raptors are in a good place, man. They're in a good place. They have a lot of really, really solid young pieces to build with. And I think Jonathan Mogbo might be one of the best Raptors rookies in Raptors history. I think the fact that you got this guy the 31st pick and the fact that he has already come this far, given his athletic potential, it really, really does paint a picture of what could come. Now, the Raptors identified a late bloomer in Pascal Siakam. Have they identified an even later bloomer in Jonathan Mogbo? Now, J-Mo does not have the same issue that Pascal had. He did not pick up basketball late, but he did become a big late or a big wing late, right? But all that inherent talent that's kind of trapped in him, right? The shooting potential. What Scotty Barnes said to Kayla Gray of, you know, he was 5'11 and we knew him as a shooter, and then we came back and he was just this big dude. Well, all that shooting talent, all that playmaking talent, all those point guard instincts, they are now trapped into a guy who, yeah, on first sight is 6'7", 6'8", but really plays a lot more like a guy who's 6'10". And that's where I think like pre-draft measurements can get you into a lot of trouble. Can you guys let me know in the chat just so I can settle my mind? Am I laggy? Is my audio okay? Let me know. Rusty Nail saying hit the like button. Yes, please do hit the like button. Okay. We good? We good? We good? Okay, good. All right. Thank God. So overall, when you consider how his game has not been allowed to fully develop in college, right? From JUCO, he was always kind of like this guy who's like get in the paint, rebound. He was sort of forced to do what, it reminds me of this guy that I went to school with. I'm not going to give out the name, but he was 6'5" and we desperately needed a center. But I kept telling this guy that he had these great playmaking chops and he should try to develop himself as a wing. But lo and behold, because we needed a center every single game, he's down in their post trying to demand on the block. And it's like, bro, even if you put up 18 and 18, ain't no scout gonna give you an offer as a 6'5" center because you're not that athletic. You need to transition over to a wing. And unfortunately, the coach just didn't see it that way. And I hate when coaches do this. And it's apparent to me that Jonathan Mogbo's coaches have stifled him to some extent because had he been allowed to explore the 3-point shot, had he been allowed to be more of a point guard, I mean, I understand that he was more of a point forward, but he wasn't allowed to take these threes. I think he would have been more highly regarded. I do. And I think had he played in Duke, I think he would have been a first round pick, easy peasy. I think he would have been a top 20 pick this year. Would he have been a top 10 pick? Who knows? Who knows? Because we've seen guys like Davion Mitchell and we've seen guys like, God damn it, what was his name? He was like a 24-year-old rookie. Rafael Arujo is another one. He was picked by Indiana. Chris Duarte. We've seen seniors, older seniors, get picked in the lottery before. It's not completely. And in a draft this week, for a team like Chicago, I don't know if they would have picked him over Matas Gonzalez, but there are teams that could have used him in the lottery, and he's certainly outplaying the shit out of some of those teams. So, I mean, you look at that and you're like, man, do you have a Nas Reed on your hand? Do you have more than a Nas Reed on your hand? Do you have something really special with Jonathan Mogbo here? And I tell you, his ability to grab it off the glass, his ability to board offensively, and his growing ascension as a playmaker gives me an idea that there's a chance, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, there's a chance that he ends up being about as good as OG Anunoby or better. And I think that is such phenomenal value to grab at the 31st overall pick. Okay. He is so good. Jamma Baller saying Mogbo reminds me of Draymond Green. He really does. He really does. He has a lot of Draymond Green, but Draymond Green doesn't shoot 54%, 55% from three over an 8-game stretch. That rarely has ever happened. So the ability to rebound almost always translates from college to the NBA. It has translated for Jonathan Mogbo. The playmaking usually translates from college to the NBA. The shooting sometimes translates. It hasn't translated. It's been much better in the NBA. The fact that he is willing to take these shots, he's not hesitating anymore. The fact that I keep posting over and over every single time he makes a three, I'm literally posting it and tagging him every single time because I want him to see it, and he's seeing it. I want him to see every single time that, look, this is who you are now. You're a good 3-point shooter. Keep making them. Keep making them. And the minute, I'm going to tell you, the minute they start guarding him, right to the rim. He's so fast. He's so twitchy. So this could become like, and I mean, where were we 3 months ago, 4 months ago on Jonathan Mogbo? I mean, not we, but where was the consensus? Oh, it's nice that Scotty has a friend on the team. His friend might be one of the best Raptor rookies of all time. The tone better change around Jonathan Mogbo league-wide. I'm going to make sure to talk about him on the panel. I'm going to make sure to make more videos about him. I'm going to make sure to keep shining light on him on X because I want him to get some real all-rookie first-team buzz. Frankly, at this point, if he doesn't make first-team all-rookie, there should be an investigation. If the Raptors do tear it down at some point, there will be more opportunities for him to play make. And he is just proving to be a high floor-raising type of player. Like he floor raises lineups. He finds little pockets. He gets offensive possessions, extra possessions. He's playmaking like a demon. He's very low utility. You don't have to run anything for him. He just finds his offense. He pushes the pace in transition. And generally speaking, and I've mentioned this multiple times, he's reading the court better than just about anyone on the team not named Scotty Barnes and Kelly Olynyk. He really is. I'm not kidding with you. Like basketball IQ is very easy to spot with young players. Jonathan Mogbo is everything I liked about Scotty Barnes. It's the same. I'm not saying he's the same player. Definitely Scotty's upside is like considerably higher, but it's the same type of stuff that Scotty was doing as a rookie. Rebounding, playmaking, efficient scoring, trying to make threes. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, except he has this twitchiness that makes him like a more special rebounder than Scotty. And that could lend itself to being like a perennial six man of the year if things go average. But it could also lend itself to being like, I don't want to say all-star, but like a sub all-star, like a potentially like what could he do in his prime? Like a 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals type of guy. Like I'm just about as high on him right now as I was on Herb Jones as a rookie, to put that into context. Right? I'm higher on him right now than I was on Pascal Siakam as a rookie. I'm about as high on him as I was on OG Anunoby as a rookie. Context matters. OG was, I think, 20 and Mogbo is 23. So that's a little bit of, it's not really it's not a really apples to apples comparison. I think he's been great. Now, unless he falls off a cliff, and that's perfectly possible, he's not going to shoot 55% from three. He's probably not going to shoot 39% or 38% from three. But if he can end the year north of 32 and he can keep taking them, if he can keep rebounding this way, if he doesn't run into like this terrible wall, and I'm going to tell you right now, there was a stretch of games where he was like amazing. Just look at it. Where have his numbers been? Against Dallas, 4.2 box plus minus. Against OKC, a game in which you struggled tremendously. Nobody on your team had anything going. He was the best player for the Raptors against OKC. Well, I think it was great. He was the best player for the Raptors against OKC, 6.1. Then against Indiana, 4.7. Miami's 8.6. At Miami, 2.4. His worst games, ironically, have come against your worst competition, which is New Orleans and Detroit. Against Cleveland, he was a 6.2, positive 6.2 against Cleveland. That might have been the best mark on the team that day. So again, he's really dialing it up against the best competition, and I think that's important to realize. He did go through a really bad stretch. That bad stretch was, okay, let's see here. Lakers, negative 3.5. Then he had Milwaukee, negative 6.6. Then he had Detroit, negative 6.7. And then he had Boston, negative 8.4. That stretch, if you remove that 4-game stretch from his analytics profile, I'll tell you right now, the other 20 games have been so crazy. He might be the favorite for rookie of the year if you just remove those four games. So it remains to be seen whether he can do this with more minutes. It remains to be seen if he can do this with more load. It remains to be seen if he can do this over an 82-game sample size. But 24 games in, Jonathan Mogbo is a surefire first-team all-rookie, surefire future member of the Toronto Raptors, and a surefire one of my favorite players on this team and one of my favorite players in the league already. I love him. I hope y'all support him. Go follow him on Instagram. Go follow him on X. Go follow him on all the platforms. And definitely let your friends know that the Raptors have a very special rookie on their hands. He's not the only one. There's a lot of special rookies on this team. Jameson Battle, Jacoby Walter. Again, the analytics are not showing with Jacoby, but the eye test is showing with Jacoby. The game tests are not showing with Ulrich, but his G League tape is showing it. The percentages are not showing with Jamal Shed, but man, the spurts are showing it. The Raptors have done phenomenal work. I love this rookie class. I love this rookie class more than I like certain dead relatives. I am very excited about the Toronto Raptors. Casting W content, thank you very much. Also, I gotta give a quick shout out to a couple of e-transfers here. Hang on one sec. Always appreciated that y'all do this. So here we go. Donald, first of all, saying, I've been watching basketball since I went to high school. I've been a basketball fan since I went to high school. That was the late 60s. I was a Laker fan watching West and Chamberlain. Became a Raptors fan sometime during the Kobe era. Bad timing. Okay. Love watching your stuff, giving me insights that the regular media doesn't see. Thank you and keep up the good work. That was a $20 e-transfer. Thank you very much. And also, we have one from Wally. No, sorry, that was why did you block me? My bad. That's a miss one. Okay, and we have one from Laura saying, I hope this helps you to get better internet. Thanks so much for the content. And that was a $50 e-transfer. Thank you all for that. That's very generous. Thank you very much. What's under the hair is cooler. I have no idea what that means. I wonder what Mobo's BPM is against teams above 500. That would actually be a really good thing to. Vegan Grass saying, do people want these read out loud? I have no idea if people want these read out loud, but I've never included anyone's last name. If you don't want me to read out your e-transfers out loud, I want to give you a shout out, obviously. But if you don't want them read out loud, just message me and say, don't share this. And that's perfectly fine. But I've never shared anyone's last name. And so, yeah. No, because our building went to Rogers, unfortunately. So I don't know what to do. I'm going to try the Ethernet cable, try to hook it directly to the computer, see if that makes a difference. And hopefully it does. I don't know. Anyways, I hope y'all have a absolutely blessed weekend or what's remaining of it. Enjoy your Sunday. To the fourth quarter gang, I hope you will pursue your dreams for the next 22 days, 23 days that are remaining. And I hope you're preparing for the holidays and that you're putting up your holiday decorations, spending time with loved ones and family. It's a really important time. And I'm going to say something to the fourth quarter gang too, which is this Davion Mitchell situation's kind of taught me. Stay true to yourself, man. Prioritize your peace of mind and your sleep. If you are doing something wrong, trust me, you'll have tough sleep. If you don't believe that you're doing anything wrong, you'll sleep like a baby. Sleep like a baby. Enjoy, and keep your conscience clear. I don't have anything on my conscience at this point. I'm good. I'm good with it. I certainly don't need to beat a dead horse about it. But if you're gonna retweet me and you're gonna tell me about taking my girl, yeah, we I'm not just gonna sit back and take it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, we went over this last time. I am literally like the last person you should ask about technology. I am somebody who probably needs, like, I remember one time I had a neighbor who was 62 and they were shocked. And this is when I was 21. They were shocked at how little I knew about technology. I have gaps to fill, man. Kim Rosewood, you're a bully. Come on now. I'm a bully. Posting your stats makes you a bully. Well, then I guess I'm a bully. Cool. All right. Talk to y'all later.